Hi, my name is Jeffrey Forgeng. I'm curator at the Higgins Armory Museum in Worcester, Massachusetts, and I would like to welcome you to this exhibition of arms and armor from the age of Shakespeare here at the Folger Shakespeare Library, where we have loaned quite a number of our pieces from the Higgins Armory to this show. It's a great delight for us to be able to share our collections with audiences here in Washington. And I've chosen some of my favorite pieces from the Higgins collection here, particularly of note, the Pembroke armor that I'm standing next to. It was one of the museum's founder's first major acquisitions. It really catapulted him into the world of major arms and armor collectors. And it is one of the pride and joys of our collection. It is a three-quarter suit, the sort of heavy cavalryman suit that would have been worn in the early days of Shakespeare's life, and it comes from the armory of the Earls of Pembroke, and in fact it probably belonged to the young Henry Herbert, who would ultimately become the Earl of Pembroke himself. It is a Milanese suit, a cavalryman suit of the highest quality, of the latest fashion that was being worn in the time of Queen Elizabeth. Heavily etched and gilded, and really the pinnacle of craftsmanship in its day. Every knight needs armor, and every nobleman in Europe likes to think of themselves as a knight. Even a king, as a boy, when he comes of age, expects to be knighted as part of the ritual of passage into manhood. And the armor that he wears throughout his life really connects him to the historic and mythical past of the knight, as well as giving him practical protection on the battlefield and being an emblem of personal status. This gauntlet that you see here represents the very highest status that can possibly be achieved. It's actually a royal gauntlet. This is made for the young Philip of Spain, who would later become King Philip II, the man who sent the Spanish Armada against England in 1588. It's a royal armor and really represents what a top-end armorer was capable of doing when he wanted to please a royal client. It was made in Augsburg by one of the most famous armorers in Europe, Desiderius Helmschmidt, and it's, as you can see, a highly decorated piece with characteristic strapwork decoration that's typical for Augsburg, gilded, etched, really top-end, high-status item to be wearing. Nowadays, we tend to think of arms and armor in very utilitarian terms. It's a tool to get a job done. But that wasn't really the full story in Shakespeare's day. It had a practical dimension, but it was also about fashion, and it was also about fantasy and imagination. Any suit of armor transformed the wearer. This helmet that you see here, for example, is a military helmet. It's something that you would actually see a soldier wearing on the battlefield. But clearly, there are features to it that go well above and beyond practical functionality. Basically, when you put on an item of armor of this kind, you're transforming yourself visually, becoming something greater, more fantastical, perhaps more frightening than you normally would be. And some armor was purely for ceremonial context. This highly embellished armor that you see here, the ceremonial breastplate, would have been worn in ceremonial occasions, for court festivities and such. And it's designed really to astonish the onlookers with its beauty, its intricacy, and its complexity. And as you can see in the book on display here on my left, there's a strong dimension of fantasy and imagination in armor.